to nature.
Refuse, reduce,
Reuse, recycle,
and rot. The 5R pledge to protect our planet.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
All-Star English 특집 공개 방송 Beyond K-Sound. 한국에서 세계로 K-사운드가 라이브로 펼쳐집니다. R&B, 트로트, 판소리, 글로벌 버스킹까지 한 무대에서. 미국 출신 트로트 가수 마리아, 프랑스 출신 소리꾼 마포로르, 882만 뷰의 촛불 하나 버스킹 영상으로 화제를 모은 영국 출신 안코드. Global Voices, 1K Sound. R&B legend Kim Jo-han and global K 외국인 stars are taking over Busan. 저 신민수, Campbell Asia, and one and only Kim Jo-han의 진행으로 All-Star English Special Outdoor Event Beyond K-Sound 5월 23일 토요일 12시 부산 북항 친수공원에서 만나요.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
If you remember, during our show yesterday, we talked about the fiasco at Starbucks with the inappropriate so-called Tank Day marketing campaign. Well, it seems that the so-called apology tour is continuing with even Starbucks headquarters in Seattle joining in, saying that it is taking the matter very seriously. Shinsegae Group Vice President Kim Soo-won visited the May 18th Memorial Culture Center in Gwangju to apologize in person. But the organizations commemorating the democratization movement, well, they rejected the meeting. And on the heels of this, the shares of Emart, which owns a 67.5% stake in Starbucks Korea, dropped by 6% yesterday. So I have a question for all of you, the waivers out there. How does a marketing campaign pass through multiple stages of internal review despite the sensitivity surrounding May 18th in this day and age? How does that happen? I don't know. Well, I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, May 20th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. Welcome to our program on this Wednesday, hump day. And I want to wish Benny, apparently it's your birthday. Happy birthday. All the way in the Philippines, we're celebrating with you here in Busan from all around the world. So it's a global birthday party. All right. Today, we have so much to cover. And yesterday, we were talking about that, S-brand coffee. And there's a lot of things happening on that front. We'll cover a little of that in the news segment. But For our text topic, since it's a little gloomy today, there were rain droplets when I came into the studio. It might be sprinkling now, I'm not sure. So we need to brighten things up. Here we go. Text topic time. What is your favorite thing about theme parks? Ooh, 내가 놀이공원에서 가장 좋아하는 것은? Ooh, I think in the beginning they had 기구. As the 처음에 이 질문이 가장 좋아하는 기구가 뭐예요? 라고 돼 있었는데 in our group chat room I wrote snacks. Hello. And then I think they slightly adjusted the question because oh my gosh, churros, right? Churros and the endless bad but so delicious snacks that are there for you. You know, like the really artificial colored like Slurpee kind of drinks. You know what I'm talking about, right? The slushy. Like, when do you ever enjoy a slushie? Like maybe once a year, but as an adult anyway. But at theme parks, you feel like, oh, I can get away with drinking that very blue, very unnaturally colored drink. You know what I mean, right? Anyhow, it's all about the food. Well, you can send in your responses. Maybe you enjoy. I don't understand people who really, really love the Viking, but it's very popular. If you ride the Viking, side note, do you sit at the very ends of the Viking, of the ship? That's where I guess it's like very, you know, for thrill seekers. Or do you sit like towards the middle with your eyes closed, hanging on for dear life? Do you raise your arms? Are you screaming with your eyes open at the very ends? Or are you in the middle, hanging on to your dear partner or friend or whoever, maybe a stranger? For dear life. Anyhow, so send in your responses to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM, 부산영어방송, to find our channel. Subscribe, log in, chat with other waivers from your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me on KakaoTalk. It is absolutely free. Find our account first, BEFM, 부산영어방송, and then add us. And then you can send in your messages. Also, the ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. That's on the radio dial in Korea. And like I said, we're streaming live on YouTube right now. Come check us out. And we're available on the BFM app and Papang app. It is Wednesday. We have Jian for Now in Busan, Haley with top stories. That's all in hour number 1. We have Andrew coming for Wave Sports. So don't get confused. It's a Wednesday for this week only. He's coming in today. And then in hour number 2, our very popular Food for Thought with Haley and Leon. Our special interview today, as we are marking the World Day of Cultural Diversity and Coexistence, aka Together Day, 세계인의 날. We have a special interview on how we can live better together. And so that's coming up in hour number 2. And for now, let's say hi to Jian. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I got to ask you, what is your most favorite thing at an amusement or theme park?
Well, I can't remember when was the last time. When is your last time, actually?
I went 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Not by choice.
With who?
Oh, my family.
Oh.
My kids are like semi-adults. They still enjoy, thrills. And they enjoy me like almost puking and like not, feeling well,
But with churro.
Yeah, with the churro in one hand and the blue, slushy in the other hand.
Watching them riding.
Yeah, watching them. And then they're like, no, and they forced me to go on. And like, I used to love roller coasters, but just not so much anymore. I mean,
Not
I'll get
anymore?
on them, but like, I'm not, it's just
Not a big fan anymore?
Not anymore.
Not
I
anymore.
guess
Maybe things
aging.
change.
I don't know. What about you? What's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is actually watching those families. Being
Watching
happy.
people like us.
People, they're having a big family and they're all here together.
Oh, and the mom looks terrible. Like she's like so miserable. 너무 좋아하시는 거
being a
아니에요?
little tired, maybe.
Yes.
I never
just a
thought
little.
miserable, but I thought they're just being a little tired.
Yes.
And the parade.
Oh,
Yes.
I forgot about that.
The parade is my favorite thing.
I love the parade, but at night, certain theme parks, they have like the special
the
one.
theme.
Oh my
the
gosh,
night
the
thing.
best one ever though is like, the ears Cheers, that place at night. Oh, it's like magical.
Yes, I love the vibe and all the performances, everything.
Right.
It's
But the one
huge.
Eland here in Korea, that one is good as well. But
Really?
yes.
Should check it out.
Yes, definitely. Okay, now we could do 2 hours of this, but we got to jump into some local news. I heard that Busan City is bringing in experts for Öl숙도 Park for the park designation of this. So what's happening?
Busan City will organize a field tour program inviting experts in environment, ecology, and landscape architecture to support the designation of the Nakdonggang River estuary as a national urban park.
Yes. So what is the purpose of bringing these experts to the area?
The idea is to get an objective assessment of the ecological and landscape value of Öl숙도 Island. The city also wants to use their input to strengthen the case for designating the area as a national urban park and to develop more competitive and sustainable content.
I see. And what will the experts be doing during this 2-day visit?
So on day 1, experts will meet near Busan Station to review the project's progress and key challenges. On day 2, they will tour Öl숙도 Island and nearby sites to explore its ecology and cultural value.
Yes. So thanks for letting us know about Öl숙도. Busan is going to be hosting a local tour to commemorate the UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting. So tell us about this.
Busan will host special World Heritage tours to celebrate the 48th UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting, which will be held here in Busan this July. The program is designed to make the international meeting something citizens can directly experience, not just observe.
Yes, and what does the tour schedule look like?
The tours will run 4 times in total over 2 days next month on the 19th and 20th. They're divided into 2 half-day tours and 2 full-day tours, each focusing on different World Heritage themes.
Yes. And what will participants see on these tours?
So on the half-day tour, focus on wartime capital Busan heritage sites.
Okay.
Participants will visit places including the Busan Modern and Contemporary History Museum and the Temporary Capital Memorial Hall.
Yes.
The full-day programs explore World Heritage sites in the wider southern region.
So who can join in on the tours and how is participation decided?
Anyone can apply, and registration opens on the 20th at 10 a.m. through
Okay.
the Busan City website. Participants will be selected on a first-come, first-served basis.
Yes, so the 20th, that's today.
That's
so
today.
you can sign up today. All right, next up, veteran taxi drivers driving through Busan's streets have now become, are you serious? Michelin guides? What's
Yes.
happening?
So Busan City will host the 11th 택시ling Festival, which is a combination of taxi and Michelin, a downtown revitalization event from next Friday to Sunday, May 22nd to 24th, across the Old Town and Namgu District area.
I love the idea. Whoever came up with the branding for this, 택시ling. So what exactly is this festival?
So 택시ling is Busan's signature gourmet festival built around the idea of discovering authentic local food spots. The key feature is that experienced taxi drivers directly recommend restaurants they trust, creating a guide that reflects real underground knowledge rather than curated selections.
Ooh, so how is a guidebook being used in this year's program?
The guidebook includes detailed information on local restaurants and food culture in Busan.
Okay.
It also comes in an English edition for international visitors and is integrated with the multilingual menu system and QR code maps so users can easily navigate to featured restaurants.
Are there any interactive programs for participants?
Yes, during the festival, visitors can join immersive activities across the Old Town areas. These include an Old Downtown Explorer program where participants walk through curated routes and complete missions, and a running crew experience that combines jogging with planned food stops.
Oh my goodness. So I want to get my hands on this because I want to know all the great local spots that I'm sure our listeners might as well. And now let's talk about the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries and what they're doing to celebrate the 31st Day of the Sea.
Yes, the Ministry of Oceans and Fisheries will run a nationwide series of marine cultural and hands-on events from today, May 20th, to May 31st to mark the 31st Day of the Sea.
I see.
Around 310,000 people are expected to take part in more than 140 programs across the country.
What's the significance of this day, Day of the Sea?
So the Day of the Sea, observed on May 31st, is a national commemorative day established to raise public awareness of the economic, environmental, historical, and cultural value of the ocean and why it matters to the country.
Oh, and what are the main events planned for this year?
This year, the main ceremony will be held next Wednesday on May 27th, highlighting the city's role as a maritime hub.
Okay, well, definitely we're, the port city, so we should celebrate the sea. For our final story today, Gian, I hear classical music concerts will be held here in Busan. What's happening?
Yes, Classical Busan will hold a special first anniversary festival at Busanconcert홀 from July 2nd to July 8th. The program will feature world-class collaborations led by artistic director Jung Myung-hoon and the Asia Philharmonic Orchestra along with young musicians from Busan.
Yes. And what concerts will be held on the opening day?
So the opening concert on July 2nd will be conducted by Jung Myung-hoon, featuring the Asia Philharmonic Orchestra, Busan City Choir, and Ulsan City Choir. They will perform Beethoven's Symphony No. 9, a large-scale choral symphony, symbolizing unity and celebration.
I see. Can you tell us about the soloists that are participating in the opening concert?
Yes, the performance will include leading Korean vocalists such as soprano Lee Hae-ji, mezzo-soprano Yang Song-mi, tenor Kim Jong-un, and baritone Park Ju-sung, who are all international level vocalists, will join the orchestra and choirs in the vocal sections of the work.
Okay, and for people who want to book tickets, how can they do so?
So tickets will be opened at 2 p.m. today for membership subscribers first. Then the normal tickets will be open tomorrow, 2 p.m.
All right, so thank you so much for all the local news, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be back with your traffic and weather. It's time for the traffic and weather. First up, let's talk about the congestion on Gwanmun-daero from Pangnam Tunnel to Baegang Tunnel. Also, the Dongso overpass is backed up from Hwangyong Ramp to Kaegum. There's traffic building on Mandak-daero from Sukdung to Deokcheon intersection. It's also looking slow on Nakdong-namlo from Gwaejong to Hadan intersection. Currently here in Busan, it is 17 degrees Celsius under cloudy skies with rain starting in some areas of the city. The rain will pick up by later this morning with a daytime high going up to just 21 today. Across the nation, though, heavy rain and even thunder and lightning forecast for the central regions, the southern coast, and Jeju with strong winds. The rain is breaking the heat that we have been experiencing with a daytime high going up to just around 20 in most areas. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for the morning brief. Samsung Electronics and union to resume wage mediation talks at 10 a.m. Samsung Electronics and its labor union, the largest labor union, will resume government-led wage mediation talks this morning after they failed to bridge their differences until early this morning. Yi and Da카이치 agreed to boost cooperation in supply chains and energy. President Lee Jae-myung and Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Da카이치 yesterday agreed to further enhance cooperation on supply chains and energy amid the continuing conflict in the Middle East. Ex-defense minister sentenced to 3-year prison term for obstruction of justice. Former defense minister Kim Yong-hyun was sentenced to a 3-year prison term yesterday for deceiving the presidential secretary service into issuing a secure phone for use following former President Yoon Suk-yeol's imposition of martial law. 신세계 chairman apologizes for Starbucks Tank Day event. 신세계 chairman Jung Yong-jin apologized for the controversial Starbucks promotion, while a May 18th Democratic Movement organization refused to meet with the group's vice chair yesterday amid consumer uproar. Trump threatens a big hit if Tehran does not make deal soon. U.S. President Donald Trump has again threatened Iran, saying that the U.S. may launch a fresh wave of attacks if Tehran doesn't make significant concessions for a deal to end the war in the Middle East. This was the Morning Brief. You're listening to hour number 1 of Morning Wave in Busan. It's now time to turn to Haley for top stories. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So we're going to get into the latest with the Samsung Electronics labor negotiations. What's happening?
Right. So marathon talks ended just about 30 minutes past midnight, so early this morning, and they will resume again at 10 a.m. And that's according to the National Labor Relations Commission, or the NLRC. And the NLRC's chair, Park Soo-gun, said that the two sides have not come to an agreement, and there seems to be one very important issue.
What might that be?
So for now, it seems that the labor and management mostly saw eye to eye on getting rid of the incentives cap, the maximum. But the sticking point is how to distribute such said incentives and putting that agreement into permanent writing.
I see.
So the union wants, as it's been saying, 15% of the company's earnings as incentives, but to divide that money 70% into all the semiconductors departments and sectors versus 30% to basically the rest of the departments. The company wants a lower proportion of that to go into the semiconductor sector and a higher proportion, but they've come to an agreement, or they've agreed to put 3 years of that into writing, but not longer. So the NLRC has presented a mediation proposal.
Question is, what happens next?
Right. So the big announcement will come at 10 a.m. where the company will announce whether it will accept that mediation proposal. If they do, the union then goes to vote on that proposal. And if there's a vote, it'll take about a full day, during which the union said it'll likely postpone the strike by that amount of time. If they don't, meaning if the company doesn't accept the proposal, then the union will go off to prepare for the planned strike. So to just sum up what's been happening, there are 3 scenarios that can happen.
Okay.
Number 1, the company accepts the mediation proposal. The union votes to accept that as well. Then there will be no strike. Situation number 2, the company doesn't accept it, then the union will immediately go into, or automatically go into, a strike tomorrow.
Okay.
Number 3, the situation is the company accepts the mediation proposal, but the union doesn't. So it votes to not accept it, then it'll go into a strike as well. So for the last 2 cases, there is a possibility that the government may pull the final brakes, exercise its emergency arbitration to stop the strike.
Yes, of course, we'll be awaiting that announcement, and we'll cover that for you tomorrow. We're going to move on for now. Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi is in South Korea for a 2-day visit, right?
Right. So President Lee Jae-myung greeted the Prime Minister, Takaichi, in Andong in front of the local hotel where the summit took place. Takaichi flew into South Korea via Daegu International Airport, and she was greeted with a traditional, 전통 color guard.
I see. Well, let's talk about the main issues from the summit.
Right. So the summit collectively lasted for about 105 minutes. And in a joint statement after the summit, President Lee assessed in a very positive manner the expansion of the summit to such regional cities, not just the capital, saying that it is emblematic of the expanding horizons of the country's bilateral ties. The 2 leaders also discussed the need for close cooperation in the energy sector and supply volatilities amid the situation in the Middle East.
Yes.
They also, to that end, saw eye to eye on the need for peace and stabilization in the Middle East conflict. Also going into specifics of the energy and supply volatilities, they agreed to boost cooperation in the liquefied natural gas or LNG and crude oil, key energy sources, and to exchange information on crude oil supplies and reserves. Other issues discussed include peace on the Korean Peninsula, artificial intelligence, space exploration, along with anti-crime initiatives, as well as safety and security. For a final bit, in terms of the historical issue between the two countries, President Lee Jae-myung also mentioned that DNA analysis is set to begin on the remains that were uncovered in Japan's Josei mines, calling it a small but a significant first step in humanitarian collaborations.
Yes, yes. And of course, these summits, they always include diplomatic gestures and a lot of symbolism.
Right, so I call that the fun part of the summit. So President Lee Jae-myung gifted Prime Minister Da카이치 this frame of 9 hawetal masks, very traditional from Andong area. And apparently the row of masks, according to Cheongwadae spokesperson Kang Yu-jung, they symbolize harmony and hoping for a development of bilateral ties.
Okay.
He also gifted ginseng, 홍삼, a form of 홍삼, and that apparently goes back to the Joseon era, where there was this parade of diplomatic envoys called Joseon 통신사 from Korea to Japan, and that was the common gift, and even the box was wrapped in paper that depicted these parades.
I see.
The people of Andong, the residents, also prepared gifts, including a duvet that was created with local textiles and a small 장승, the guardian sculpture. The banquet, the food, the real fun part, it featured 전개야 on the menu, and we were like, what is that?
Yeah,
well,
what is
it's
that?
apparently a traditional Joseon-era chicken dish eaten in Andong, kind of the precursor to Andong's very famous 찜닭. So this was given to very important guests back in the day. And by the way, it was the first time that a traditional Joseon-era recipe was used at an official banquet with the head of state.
Oh, very interesting. Thanks for letting us know about that. Well, we're going to move on. We are on day 3 of the high fuel price subsidies signups for the general public. And we briefly talked about this yesterday. But many people, they were surprised to find out they are not in the category, the bottom 70%.
Right, so it's been common to see people go into the local community center or the banks to receive the money or sign up, only to be turned away empty-handed. Because the current round, again, is for the bottom 70% of income earners. That would cover some 36 million people in the country. This is different and perhaps a reason for the confusion from the previous consumption coupon, 소비 coupon, that was for the bottom 90%. So that is a big difference, and this means that 10 million people fall into the top 30% group who basically were able to apply for the consumption coupons but not for the high fuel subsidies.
Okay. And some people are raising issue with the high asset holders threshold.
Right, so there are 2 separate categories. You basically make too much money to qualify into that bottom 70% via wages versus people who don't have wages but have high assets.
Okay.
So let's look at a single person household. If you, a salaried subscriber, so you make wages, if you made under 73 million won per year, then you qualified for the spending coupons.
Okay.
That put you in the top, right below the top 10%. Now, that threshold is way lower to 43 million won. 4,300만 원 연봉입니다. And that's a big change.
It is.
Right. And because we probably wouldn't think of somebody who makes 43 million won, not that that's not a big amount of money.
Right.
But you wouldn't consider that person uber wealthy.
No.
Right. However, despite the changes, the big changes in the income levels, the asset threshold is the same. Yeah, right. So the government kept this threshold at the same level, 1.2 billion won based on the property tax appraisal or 20 million won for financial income.
Okay, so we need a clearer depiction. What does that actually look like?
Right, because if I say, this person makes 43 million won per year, you get a fairly intuitive, direct picture of, all right, that's what that person makes.
Okay.
But for these 고액 자산가, the standard for high asset holders, in terms of market value, that means somebody who owns a 3 to 4 billion won apartment in market value or have about 900 million won in deposits or savings, that person can still receive the high fuel price subsidies as long as they don't have a wage. So that kind of seems like, though, that person who has 900 million won, 9억 won in assets is richer than somebody who makes 43 million won per year.
Yes, I can see why people have questions. How many people have signed up for the stipends thus far?
Right, so between April 18th until midnight on May 18th, a total of 8,044,000 people have signed up for the first two rounds. That's about 22% of the total figure eligible.
Okay.
Please keep in mind that sign-ups for the current round are by 6 p.m. on July 3rd.
All right. Thanks for giving us the details on this. All right. Up next, upon multiple stories about security breaches, more and more South Koreans are skeptical about the state of cybersecurity.
Right, to the point where 7 out of 10 Korean consumers are willing to pay extra for that internet security. Are you?
I don't know. I just got an alert.
Sorry, I was like, ugh.
That my green email account, the one that sounds like Yut, that supposedly someone was trying to log in Europe. In specifically 영국이라고.
Oh.
And I was just like,
right.
what? So I was a little miffed about
Yeah.
that. So I don't know, I might. But how much are we talking about?
Right. So 7 out of 10. Again, this is according to a Voltec and Black Box report on the 2026 Asia Pacific cybersecurity.
Yes.
And 49% of respondents said that they don't trust banks, service providers, or apps will provide ample security or protection of personal information.
Yes.
And I'm like, 49%. But that is much higher than the average of 26% in the general Asia-Pacific region.
Okay. I guess with this, more people are willing to pay.
Exactly. So Koreans tend to view preventive protection as the most important point over post-accident compensations. So 67% said that they were willing to pay for cybersecurity services. And while you might think 67% seems low, there are people like me who feel like I should, but I really don't want to.
Of course, who wants to?
That's not my job, right? But 80% said, again, the most important function was real-time monitoring or alerts that detect the leaks or cyber threats. And only 48% said that they preferred financial reimbursements after such incidents happen. So the company analyzed that this shows the possibility of expanding demand for paid cyber protection services.
But I have to say on that note, what's really annoying is every single site has different things that you need to download. And that's really annoying.
And I'm like, are you still protecting my information?
Are you?
I don't know.
Are you? I don't know. We're going to move on to some international stories. The big news last week was the U.S.-China summit. And now Russian President Vladimir Putin is in China for a state visit.
Right. So Beijing is busy with these back-to-back, very high-profile, high-stakes summits. So Putin arrived in China yesterday evening and is due to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping today. And Chinese President Xi will host the welcome ceremony in Tiananmen Square later this morning.
Yes. So what do we know about the summit?
Right. So according to the Kremlin, it said that the two leaders will discuss all areas of bilateral relations, including the proposed Power of Siberia 2 gas pipeline. So after a one-on-one meeting, respective foreign ministers, China's Wang Yi and Russia's Sergei Lavrov, will join for an expanded meeting. The Kremlin said that the two leaders will sign a joint declaration on establishing a new type of international relationship amid this multilateral world, and about 40 different documents or MOUs on strengthening their relationship.
And I'm thinking, of course, the economy will be key.
Right, so actually 2 E's, the economy and energy. So the Kremlin emphasized that Russia has increased its oil supply to China by 35% in recent years, and that it is one of the biggest exporters of natural gas to China. China actually has been a massive purchaser of Russian energy, thereby injecting huge funding for Russia's war with Ukraine.
Right. And the two countries share common economic aims.
And that would be currency.
Yes.
So the Kremlin spokesperson further emphasized their own currencies, so ruble and the yuan respectively, have been used in each other's bilateral trade and called it a mutual secure trading system that protects them from negative global market trends or third countries, which was an obvious reference to the de-dollarization.
Yes, and I want to focus on the timing as it is rare for China or any country to host such high-profile state visits back to back.
Again, can you imagine having U.S. President Donald Trump in your city one day and Russian President Vladimir Putin the next? I mean, the security and the details would be exhausting, and pundits agree. So an article published by the state media tabloid, the Global Times, said that the visits of the U.S. and Russian presidents, they showed Beijing was, quote, fast emerging as a focal point of global diplomacy.
Yes.
And that is Beijing's goal. It further said that the tightly sequenced visits have sparked widespread attention, with analysts noting that it is extremely rare in especially the post-Cold War era for a country to host leaders of both the U.S. and Russia back-to-back within a week.
Yes, indeed. But thanks for covering this summit as well. Next up, let's talk about this. A California court ruled against Elon Musk in that lawsuit involving OpenAI.
Right. So a 9-person jury threw out Elon Musk's high-profile lawsuit against OpenAI, of course, the company behind ChatGPT, and its CEO, Sam Altman.
Yes.
To give you a little bit of background, but I do have to note, was it Monday this week that we had a special interview, or last week, a special interview on this that very extensively covered the full scope, but Musk, one of the co-founders of OpenAI, had accused Sam Altman of going back on the company's original plans, promised as a non-profit, and changed the company into a for-profit one. So here, Musk claimed that Altman had deceived him, basically tricked him into donating $38 million early in OpenAI startup history.
However, the jury didn't see the lawsuit had merit.
Right. So actually, they pointed to the timing. So in a unanimous verdict, the jury agreed that Musk had basically waited too long, that the time had passed, leaving all of its claims essentially expired. So they didn't really even rule on the legality of the claims. They said too much time has passed. So the jury did spend weeks reviewing the correspondence and testimony. And of course, there were testimony in court, but the actual deliberation only took less than 2 hours. The court actually said it was also ready to immediately reject Musk's appeals should he do that. And it is actually quite rare for a judge to warn that he would immediately strike down the appeals request.
Right.
So this ends that particular chapter in the Musk-Altman AI battle.
Right, that's the battle, but the larger war is perhaps ongoing.
Right, because we always want to throw that into the larger context. OpenAI claimed that the intent of the suit was for Musk to create an environment that was beneficial for Musk's own AI company, xAI. So xAI is a subsidiary under SpaceX. And what is SpaceX waiting for? Its IPO next month on the NASDAQ.
Okay.
But OpenAI, it's a private company now, but it is expected to go public, have its own IPO, if early within this year, which, these two are expected to be the biggest public offerings expected for, this year, but honestly, almost ever.
That's true. So we're going to move on from that story. This one is very much concerning, or concerns all of us, because this summer might be one of extremes. So let's talk about it.
Already we are looking at heat waves in May, but there's an 82% chance that a super El Nino may develop by July, if not a very strong one. The strongest in 150 years. And that's according to the Climate Prediction Center at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA.
Well, we need a reminder. We hear about El Nino and La Nina. We get confused. What's El Nino?
So El Nino is a part of a natural cycle in the Pacific. About 3 to 7 year cycle, tends to raise up global temperatures, and it is considered one of the most influential climate patterns on Earth.
Yes.
So if the water temperature on the Pacific Ocean by the equator, that is 적도, if that increases by just half a degree, 0.5 degrees Celsius, that's a weak El Nino. If it's over 2 degrees Celsius, a super El Nino, we are already in a weak El Nino cycle, by the way. Either way, this summer is then set to be one of weather extremes.
Didn't we recently go through an El Nino cycle, or does it seem like it was recent?
We had multiple interviews about this, and I was like, I swear that was really recent. 23-24.
Oh, really?
That was fairly recent, right?
Okay.
And that 2024 set the record for the highest average temperatures. But One expert is saying that there is a 19% chance that this will be the hottest year on record. And if that happens, there will be flood risks in parts of South America, Eastern Africa, and drought in Australia, Indonesia, Northern South America. That would cause a global food crisis, by the way.
Yes. So, we will have to see. Thank you for all the top stories. And of course, we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
We're going to take a song break. So how about this one? 네가 참 좋아 by Julie.
온종일 정신없이 바쁘다가도 틈만 나면 네가 생각나 언제부터 내 안에 살았니 참 많이 웃게 된 너 때문에 어느새 너의 모든 것들이 변해지나 봐 부드러운 미소도 나지막한 목소리도 아직은 얘기할 수 없지만 나 있잖아 네가 정말 좋아 사랑이란 말하기 더 슬플지 몰라도 아주 솔직히 그냥 네가 참 좋아 친구들 속에 너와 함께 있다면 조심스레 행복해지고 어쩌다가 네 옆에 앉으면 세상을 다 가진 기분이 드는걸 우연히 눈만 마주쳐도 그들의 발끝만 보게 되고 조금씩 내 마음이 너에게 가고 있는 걸 이 세상에 두 사람 너랑 나만 몰랐나 봐 얼마나 잘할지는 몰라도 난 네 곁에 서고 싶어 정말 하루하루 점점 더 커져가는 이 느낌 다른 말보다 그냥 네가 참 좋아 손잡을 때는 어떨까 우리 둘이 입 맞춘다면 아직은 얘기할 수 없지만 난 있잖아 네가 정말 좋아 사랑이란 말하기 더 슬플지 몰라도 아주 솔직히 그냥 네가 참 좋아
Korea Broadcast Advertising Corporation, known as KBACO, supports TV advertisement production for innovative small and medium-sized enterprises, and you can get up to 45 million won. Apply until June 1st, 6 p.m. Please visit the KBACO website for more details.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for a final segment. Guess who's here? Andrew's here for Wave.
Sports.
Oh,
I
matching in
was
black.
waiting for the camera to come on, but
Yes.
we hit our cue.
We did.
Well,
Somebody else was a little slow.
I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not pointing fingers anywhere. Yeah. All right.
Had to wipe my nose.
You're here
Yes.
every day. It's easier for you to do that than me. It's all right.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm doing well.
Oh my gosh.
I heard
People-
your text topic
Yeah, what is it?
about the theme parks.
What's your favorite thing?
I'm not a big like roller coaster, these kind of rides kind of fan. I don't mind a big Ferris wheel. You know,
a Ferris wheel.
not it's nice.
But depends on who's in that Ferris wheel with you.
Yeah, my kids and I get it rocking like this, and they're like,
that's
"Ah!"
scary. Don't they freak out?
No, I would. They'd be doing that to me.
I was gonna say
It's a little bit different.
Right.
Also, I think for me when I was a kid, because we didn't have a theme park in our city, it was like every year for a week one would come, and it was the food.
The
food for me,
Hello.
I thought was amazing.
What's your favorite?
Just like there was things called, maybe, I don't think this is a brand,
Okay.
Dippity dogs. They're like corn dogs, right? These things, and then like slushies and your cotton candy.
I forgot the name of the thing that they have at the big mouse ears. It's like it's a pastry. And it's just so bad for you. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
But there's a word for it, but I can't remember for some reason.
This is gonna
But that's the most
bother me.
famous snack at that land.
Something cake.
But it's like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
It's so,
Someone in
it's
chat,
like,
please help us out.
yeah, it's like the one I'm talking about. It's like just pure batter.
Yeah,
and
and
with
they're
powdered
notorious
sugar. It's
around
so
at
good.
all the things. Yeah.
So good. Okay.
But anyway, back to sports here. We're going to kick things off with a clip of some breaking news that happened just within the past couple of hours.
Arsenal are the champions. The party can begin in North London after the 22-year wait.
That's enough. Okay.
That's enough.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Did I say that on air? Sorry.
So Manchester City drew with Bournemouth, but with a late charge, Erling Haaland had a 95th minute tying goal, and there was still a little bit of extra time where if Man City would have won, they would have came within 1 point of Arsenal, but because they drew, or actually within 2, so they still would have had a chance on the final day. But with the draw, it sees Arsenal sit with 82 points. Man City was 78 with 1 game to go. So I don't know. I'm an English teacher, not a math teacher, but that one's pretty easy. Arsenal cannot be caught. They also won the other night 1-0 over Burnley. So they are the champions this year of the Premier League. First time in 22 years. But at the other end of the table, another North London team is having some struggles of their own.
That's such an understatement. Some struggles.
Hey, I'm trying to be. I can't even say politically correct because that is just being very dishonest.
Yes.
So Tottenham lost this morning, Korean time here, 2-1 to Chelsea, which all they really needed, if they would have got a win today, then it would have made the final game of the season. Okay, we can apologize to our fans. We'll be back next year, be stronger. But because of that loss, they are sitting 2 points ahead of West Ham, which going into the final day, Spurs are at home to Everton, and West Ham are at home to Leeds. Now, obviously, if West Ham win, Spurs lose, West Ham stay up, Tottenham go down. But if Spurs draw and West Ham win, they're tied. The goal differential is in Tottenham's favor.
All right.
So, yeah.
You know what?
I don't know. We'll have to see how things go.
Our listeners are clamoring. They're saying, this is BFM. Where's the Busan Lotte news? What's going on? The Lotte Giants. They want it. Do you have anything?
I mean, they
Off the
won
top
last
of-
night, so hey, happy days. But we're going to talk about something a little bit more here. All right.
Okay.
This is the Busan KCC Egis claim the historic KBL championship. This is something we don't talk a lot about on this show, basketball. Sorry, listeners, maybe it's just me. It's not one of my biggest interests. When stuff's going on in the NBA, we do talk about it. And I will tell you the truth. Last week when this was going on, I purposely didn't talk about it because I didn't want to jinx them. I didn't want to give them the Andrew Mush, if you want to call it
The
that.
Hub brothers, too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So they've officially rewritten the history books of Korean professional basketball, completing an unprecedented 0% miracle. Now, people are probably wondering, what is this all about? I'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
By winning the KBL championship. Now, facing off against Goyang Sono, in Game 5, they're able to win. So they win the series 4-1. Now, the team, they did have some injuries throughout the year.
Right.
It was looking like, okay, are they going to be able to hold on to that last playoff spot? But their offense always was kind of there, but it was their defense that were able to frustrate Goyang, holding them to only 25 points in the very first half of this game.
Right.
But it was the Hall brothers, Hall Ung and Hall Un. Hoon, sorry.
Yes.
Ung and Hoon. All right. By the brother duo and the
Right.
playoff MVP as well, with 32 points combined. But the thing was, going into this, when I said 0% miracle,
Yes.
is because they were the 6th seed in the bracket.
Right.
And they won.
That's
it's
amazing.
the first time in
It's
the
a Busan
29
team.
There you go.
That's why we're talking
But
about it.
Also, first time in 29 years that that's ever happened, that the 6th seed has gone on and ran the bracket.
Yes.
Pretty amazing stuff.
Congrats.
Yes.
All right. So what else are we? We're going to move from the course to the pitch.
To the pitch here, and we have something that doesn't happen very often. A highly anticipated showdown kicks off tonight just south of Seoul in Suwon.
Yes.
As North Korea's Naegohyang Women's FC takes on South Korea's Suwon FC Women in the semifinals of the AFC Women's Champions League.
Right.
Now, this marks, obviously, you don't need to hear me say it to understand this is quite momentous. It's the first time in around 8 years that North Korean athletes have, crossed the border into the South to compete.
Yes.
Now, this match is set for 7 p.m. tonight at the Suwon Stadium. And the eyes, I would say a lot of the footballing world are going to want to see this because, it's, for one, it's North Korea, South Korea. But it's also in women's football as well. So I think that will bring some more eyes as well because it's something different there.
Yes.
Now, with this here, there was some press going on, but the North Korean side, their coach was kind of just like, they're trying to stay away from everything. They just want to focus on the football.
Okay.
There's something bigger than just inter-country relations here. And I think as a coach, I think that's what you have to, pass on to your players as well, because if not, they're going to get caught up in everything. But I think it's going to be a pretty good game, especially with Suwon FC and their veteran national team stars like Ji So-yeon. But their team, Ji So-yeon went on to say that it's the team for North Korea is essentially their national team.
Right.
Which is kind of unbelievable when you really think about it. But the winner of this will face off against the other semifinal, which is Melbourne City against Tokyo Verde, which is taking place at 2 p.m. today. And the final for this will be on Saturday at 2 p.m. in Suwon as well. So all those games are taking place in Suwon. So if you're in Suwon, you might want to try to head over and get some tickets
I
for
hope
this.
they're not rained out. That's what we're hoping for. So, all right.
Just
so
make it a little more
speaking
exciting.
Of soccer or
Yes.
football, the national team for the World Cup, were they announced?
Yeah, it was announced last Saturday in Seoul in I want to say a highly anticipated event, but I don't want to throw any shade at anything. It wasn't as, I don't know, I watched a lot of the
wasn't
clips from it.
earth-shattering.
No, exactly. I think
right.
this is what we're going with here is that, Myung-bo, the manager for Team Korea, he's kind of gone with continuity, improving chemistry over, some kind of experimentation.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I think as fans of the South Korean team, we all would like some excitement thrown into the mix,
Sure.
like some, new flavor. But really, I don't want to say there's not much to draw from, but, he's not going to bring somebody in that's never played for the national team.
Right.
It might disrupt something that's going on. So you got to think there are the international stalwarts that have been there for a long time, like Son Heung-min, Kim Min-jae, Lee Kang-yen. And then also there's a few other players that are not making their debuts, but making World Cup debuts. One of them would be Jens Gastrup, making him to be the first foreign-born player named to a South Korean men's World Cup squad,
Yes.
which is pretty amazing. The team didn't waste any time. They're off to Salt Lake City, Utah, where they will have a couple of warm-up fixtures against Trinidad and Tobago and El Salvador. We had talked about that
Yes,
previously. And then after everybody meets up, they will move to Guadalajara in Mexico for, to get ready for those games on, I believe their first game is on the 12th. I believe it is June 12th. Our time here in Korea.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty amazing stuff.
Well, speaking of the World Cup.
Yeah.
There's going to be a halftime show.
Controversy.
I mean, okay.
Hey,
have they ever had that before?
Hey, Army, don't come at me.
Yeah.
All right, please.
Yeah.
I'm just reporting the news.
Uh-huh.
All right. So the World Cup final, yes, exactly how you said, we'll have a halftime show. And this here, if you want to call it the Americanization of the sports or the spectacle, if you will.
Yes.
I'm kind of behind you on this, but I didn't expect anything less. So this here, it's kind of sparked global debate. It's a very Super Bowl style halftime show. It'll be at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. It will have pop legend Madonna. I don't know why they go Madonna, but anyway, Shakira, I can get that one.
Right.
And then also BTS. I get that. I think they could have done better than Madonna. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't like. I don't know. Like, anybody else agree with me on this one, please? All right. And then also there's a historic mid-game performance curated by, this is all by Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Yes.
Now, this also will double as a massive charity drive to raise $100 million for FIFA Global Citizens Education Fund. I really think they probably could have raised this money, by,
I was going to say $100 million for FIFA.
I'm pretty sure some of those boxes that they're selling are not too shy of that. So just take one, money from that. But I think also they have to stick to the regulations and how much time is for halftime.
Right.
Where in American football,
it's like
they're their own governing body.
Exactly.
It's not like they have FIFA on their backs. So this here, it will be interesting because if it goes long, if something happens to the field conditions, this kind of stuff, it might affect the players. There could be, injuries and things like that. But I don't know. Again, I'm there for the entertainment. I'll be watching it. I won't be at the stadium, which will probably make it a better performance, just like Bad Bunny's at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
If you were in the stadium, you're like, who's that walking in the trees? But if you watched on TV, it was pretty fantastic. So,
It was.
I don't know.
Well,
let us know, people. I know what Leslie's going to say, but that's okay.
Back by popular demand. Next week, Lotte Giants.
On Tuesday.
News.
Oh,
Yes.
me. Oh, on Tuesday. Yeah, Lotte
Tuesday.
Giants. No, they're doing all right, but hey, we got a lot of other news.
I know.
We got to cover the news, people.
The requests are coming in. I'm just letting you know what the people want. We'll check in with you next Tuesday.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody, this was Andrew with Wave Sports. And how about this one? Dynamite by BTS to take us out. I'll be back at 8.
Ain't the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice tea and I'll get my ping pong. This is getting heavy, can't hear the bass, boom, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey, yeah, this beach treat like money. This go all alone, I'm into that, I'm good to go, I'm down, you know I go. Hey, so let's go. 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey,
부산영어방송.
인생 막창을 찾았어 이러는 밤나 불방열사 막창의 신 불방열사 장사의 신 불방열사 여기가 인생 막창 불타는 막창 열받은 삼겹 불방열사 창문이 1588-9376
위탁급식 전문 기업 더존푸드 운영비 절감의 효과는 확실하게 맛있고 건강한 급식과 도시락 부산 경남 어디서나 051-784-0877 051-784-0877
올해 12살 성민이는 암으로 떠난 엄마를 대신해 세 동생들의 엄마가 되었습니다.
엄마 없어도 항상 씩씩하게 지내야 된다? 그 말이 가장 많이 하셨어요.
서툴게 차린 밥상으로 동생들의 식사를 챙겨보지만 넉넉지 않은 형편에 달걀 프라이 하나도 나눠 먹는 동생들을 보며 미안한 마음만 커집니다. 성민이와 동생들의 건강한 내일을 위해 여러분의 마음을 전해주세요. 후원 문의 1544-9599 굿네이버스.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참! 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back, everybody. This is 8 o'clock Spotlight News. Samsung Electronics and Union to resume wage mediation talks at 10 a.m. Samsung Electronics and its largest labor union will resume government-led wage mediation talks at 10 a.m. after they failed to bridge their differences until early this morning. The National Labor Relations Commission, or the NLRC, said that the second round of mediation talks were adjourned at 12:30 a.m. as the two sides struggled to narrow their differences over a range of issues, including performance-based bonuses linked to earnings. The NLRC has put forward a mediation proposal, and the management said it will come up with a final position at 10 a.m. today. Yi and Takaichi agreed to boost cooperation in supply chains and energy. President Lee Jae-myung and Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi agreed yesterday to further enhance cooperation on supply chains and energy amid the continuing conflict in the Middle East. During a joint conference after their summit in Andong, the Japanese Prime Minister said that the two leaders agreed to push for a bilateral swap of crude oil, petroproducts, and liquefied natural gas or LNG and other methods of cooperation. The two leaders also reaffirmed the importance of bilateral cooperation between Seoul and Tokyo, as well as trilateral cooperation with Washington to ensure peace and stability in the region. Ex-defense minister sentenced to 3-year prison sentence for obstruction of justice. The Seoul Central District Court sentenced former defense minister Kim Yong-hyun to 3 years in prison for deceiving the Presidential Security Service into issuing a secure phone for use following former President Yoon Suk-yeol's imposition of martial law. Kim was also found guilty of instigating the destruction of evidence of martial law-related documents. The 3-year prison term is less than the 5 years the Cho Eun-suk Special Counsel had requested. Kim's case was the first indictment by the team after it was launched last June to investigate allegations surrounding Yoon's martial law bid. Shinsegae chairman apologizes for Starbucks Tank Day event. Shinsegae chairman Chung Yong-jin apologized for the controversial Starbucks promotion, while a May 18th Democratic Movement organization refused to meet with the group's vice chair yesterday. On Monday, the anniversary of the May 18th Democratic uprising in Gwangju, the coffee franchise released an online promotion using phrases like tank and references to a cover-up of a torture and death of a student activist in a 1987 democratic movement, sparking public uproar. Shinsegae Vice Chair Kim Soo-won visited Gwangju yesterday to meet with the members of the May 18th Memorial Culture Center to offer his apologies, but the group refused to meet him, saying that the visit was unscheduled and unilateral. Trump threatens a big hit if Tehran does not make deal soon. U.S. President Donald Trump has again threatened Iran, saying the U.S. may launch a fresh wave of attacks if Tehran doesn't make significant concessions for a deal to end the war in the Middle East. Iran submitted a 14-point peace plan via Pakistan, and leaders from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE have reportedly urged the U.S. president to hold off on attacks. Analysts say both sides want to avoid a new round of hostilities, but neither are willing to pay the political price of the concessions necessary to secure a peace agreement. And this was Spotlight News.
Traffic is so bad. Let's see what's on the radio.
Get the latest news and current issues that you need here on Morning Wave in Busan. You're now listening to Morning Wave in Busan with me, Catherine. It's time for a special interview. Today, around the world, societies are becoming more diverse than ever before. And of course, South Korea is no exception. Today, more than 2.8 million foreign residents live here in Korea, making up around 5% of the total population, meaning roughly 1 in every 20 people in the country is a foreign national. As we mark World Day of Cultural Diversity and Coexistence, also known as Together Day in Korean, 세계유산위원회, we take a closer look at what diversity really means and why understanding and respecting different cultures is becoming more important than ever. Joining us today is Professor Emma Zhang, who is an associate professor of sociology, biostatistics, and global affairs at Yale University. Hi, welcome to the program, Professor.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes. So today we're talking about diversity, obviously, in society. But what does it actually mean from a sociological perspective?
When most people hear diversity, they immediately think of a checklist, including race, gender, nationality, etc. But those things actually matter. But as a sociologist, what I find more interesting is everything underneath it. Think about two people sitting in the same hospital waiting room, same city, maybe even same neighborhood. But one grew up in a rural farming family and the other in an urban professional household. Their entire way of understanding illness, of trusting doctors, of even knowing whether it's okay to ask questions is completely different. That's the kind of diversity that shapes people's lives in really deep ways. So for me, diversity is really about the full range of experiences and frameworks people carry with them and how those interact with the systems and institutions and power around them. It's less about who's in the room, but more about what invisible worlds they are each bringing in with them.
I see, Professor. Thanks for giving us your insight into this whole idea about diversity today. And in terms of diversity, why do you think it's become such an important issue today in modern societies?
A few things happen at the same time, which is why it feels so urgent now. Globalization moved people across borders in ways that were simply impossible before. Falling birth rates, something South Korea knows very well, created real structural needs for immigrants. And social movements over the past several decades fundamentally changed what people are willing to publicly claim as part of their identity. But here's what I think is really underappreciated here. That is the visibility of diversity has shot ahead of people's ability to make sense of it. So think about what daily life looks like now versus 30 years ago. Your teenager is watching creators from 40 different countries. Your coworker is video calling their family in Indonesia from on their lunch break. You can't really pretend the world is homogeneous anymore. It's right there in front of you every day. And I think that gap between the diversity you can no longer ignore and the tools to actually process it is where most of the tension and anxiety in modern societies actually comes from.
Ah, yes, indeed. And in terms of increasing diversity, how does that change the way in which communities and societies, and we, as you say, as coworkers, as peers, function?
What it really does is surface all the invisible assumptions that were baked into how things were built. Here's a small but I think really telling example. In a lot of the schools across Europe and also including in America here, when Muslim students started enrolling in large numbers, it wasn't just a question of adding a halal option to the lunch menu. Suddenly, there were conversations about what the cafeteria was actually for, who it had always been designed around, whose presence had simply been assumed as a default. So that sounds like a small thing, but multiply that across every institution, such as schools, hospitals, workplaces, legal systems, and you start to see how much infrastructure was built with a very specific kind of person in mind. And at a very more personal level, what diversity does is put you in a situation where your automatic social scripts just don't work anymore. You reach for a familiar assumption or gesture and it lands completely wrong. That's uncomfortable. But honestly, that's also where real learning tends to happen if you respond with curiosity instead of defensiveness.
I love that, curiosity instead of defensiveness. In your opinion, what are some of the most common challenges that people face when becoming more diverse, even in a very homogeneous community like Korea?
Well, a few things come up again and again. The first one is something I call status anxiety. Even when people haven't materially lost anything, the feeling that this place is changing and I don't recognize it anymore is a really powerful experience. I think it's a mistake to just dismiss that as a bigotry because it taps into something deep about how humans relate to place and belonging. You can't really address it if you won't acknowledge it. The second, I would say, is institutional lagging. The laws, the schools, and the healthcare systems, they were built for a more homogeneous society, and they're really slow to adapt. In Korea, you can see this pretty clearly where the social infrastructure for multicultural families has developed much more slowly than the demographic reality.
You know, in responding to some of these challenges, some societies really emphasize things like assimilation, trying to kind of meld in or, melt in with that, I guess, dominant group of people. So how do you see the difference between assimilation versus inclusion?
The simplest way I'd put it is that assimilation says you're welcome here, but on our terms. Inclusion says your presence means we have to change too. And that distinction has really concrete human consequences. So think about children of immigrant families in many countries, including the United States. They often grow up performing two completely different versions of themselves. So there's a home self, and then there's a school or work self.
Yes.
So assimilation essentially demands they choose between these two selves. And inclusion creates space for both to exist and eventually for the mainstream culture itself to be transformed by what those children bring. So now I want to be really honest about this because inclusion is very hard. It's more disruptive. It asks more of the receiving society. But I've seen the research is that assimilation only approaches tend to produce surface compliance while driving authentic identity underground. And that suppressed identity doesn't just disappear. It will come back, often in the ways that people don't want to see.
Well, in terms of a diverse society, for us to really build understanding, coexistence, and really practice inclusion, once again, here in Korea, we have a 5%, population of the total people who live here who are foreign nationals. Once again, very homogeneous. How do we incorporate this?
Well, three things, and none of them are really quick fixes. They're all very hard. So the first is that what researchers call structured contact. Not just being near each other, but really working towards shared goals on the conditions where people are on relatively equal footing. So sports teams are one of the most powerful natural examples of this. And there's something about actually needing each other to win that collapse social distance in a way that a diversity seminar almost never does. Also, research shows that diversity training doesn't really work. The second is really institutional trust. So people need to really believe the rules apply to them equally. When a group consistently experiences institutions as indifferent or hostile, coexistence becomes very fragile, no matter how many multicultural festivals you organize. And the last one, which I think is probably the hardest to engineer, is the narrative. So societies need stories that make diversity feel like a shared project, not a competition where somebody has to lose. So Singapore is fascinating in this sense, if complicated, and also a very complicated example of this. So they have invested heavily, sometimes heavy-handedly, in building a really multiracial national identity. It's not perfect, but there was a real recognition that coexistence is a cultural project, not just a policy one. So I think South Korea is at a very interesting early stage of building that narrative right now, which is part of why conversations like this really matter.
Absolutely, Professor. And as we wrap up today, I have one more question for you. On a day like this, where we are definitely marking diversity, coexistence, and as you say as well, not just assimilation, but maybe trying to focus more on inclusivity. How can we, lay people, through our everyday actions, build more understanding and respect for each other?
That's a great question. But I want to be slightly honest here and push back on the framing a little. Not to dodge the question, but because I think we put too much pressure on individual behavior and not enough on how systems are designed. So if your workplace only rewards one very narrow cultural style, personal open-mindedness only goes so far. But at the individual level, I think the most underrated thing is really curiosity, not tolerance. So tolerance is a pretty low bar. It basically just means I will endure your existence. Curiosity means actually wondering, how does this person's world work, and what does this look like from inside of their experience? So in practice, that looks like slowing down before you categorize people. Ask a question instead of making an assumption. So being willing to sit with a moment of confusion, such as I don't fully understand this, instead of reaching for the nearest stereotype, which is honestly what our brains are wired to do when we're working fast.
Yes, yes, indeed. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your expertise, and just on this day as we learn to definitely live better together. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
This was Professor Emma Zhang, and this was our special interview. Break, so here it is. This is Black or White by Michael Jackson.
causing grief in human relations. It's a turf war on a global scale. I'd rather hear both sides of the tale. See, it's not about races, just places, faces. Where your blood comes from is where your space is. I've seen the bright get dull. I'm not gonna spend my life being a color.
Tell me you agree with me when I saw you kicking dirt in my eye. You're thinking about my baby. It don't matter if you're black or white. You're black or white. I said you're thinking of being my brother. It don't matter if you're black or white.
It's time for your traffic update. First up, there is a broken down bus on Daechongno from Daecheong intersection to Busan Contemporary History Museum, right past the intersection. So please be aware of that area. There is an accident on Nakdong-Buklo from Gupo-daegyo intersection to Gangso District Office, right before the bridge. It has been cleared, but there's still backup. And it's congested on Jungangdaero from City Hall to Yangjong intersection, back up on Suyeongno from KBS 3-way intersection to Daenam intersection. It's currently 18 degrees Celsius here in Busan, cloudy skies. It might be raining depending on where you are in Busan right now, but it's going to pick up definitely later on this morning with the daytime high going up to just 21 today. Across the nation, heavy rain with even thunder and lightning forecast for the central regions, the southern coast, and Jeju with strong winds. The rain is breaking the heat we've been experiencing with a daytime high going up to just around 20 degrees on average today. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for that segment. Wednesday, the finale. We have Haley and Leon for Food for Thought. Yay!
when can I do it?
Is everything. So yes, 다음 주는 잘해보겠습니다.
죄송합니다. 죄송합니다.
So once again, we have the lovely Haley and Leon joining us for Food for Thought.
Good morning.
Yes, and just in case we have some newcomers to explain what this corner is all about, we have a tea session, a woggle session with the three of us. So we all have our pinkies up, proverbially.
Yes.
And so let's dive right in because I know we have much to cover. So we're going to turn to this week, Leon first. So what do you have for us?
So we all are the generation of 운동회, right? The sports day events.
Are we 청팀 백팀 right now? Because she's in white and I'm kind of in blue.
If it was more
I'm
blue,
the referee.
yeah.
She's the referee.
You just need a whistle and a hat.
I'm the 국제심판. Okay, here we go.
Yes. So today I want to talk about 운동회, which is in English, I guess, sports day, right?
Yes.
So recently in Korea, there's been this growing discussion about school events. While it's not for all, at some elementary schools, sports day are becoming smaller, quieter, and basically pretty much non-existent.
Yes.
So today I wanted to throw this question out there. You know, what happened to the school events as shared community experiences like 운동회? Did you guys notice, did our listeners notice there's no more loud school events in elementary schools anymore? And I know you don't have kids yet and your kids are already too old, but
yes.
Did you notice this change in recent years?
I definitely think so. And then just less field trips, less of everything.
Yes.
There was COVID, but then even post-COVID, it's just things are quieter.
You know, even aside from the 운동회, the sports day extravaganza of days of past, my nephew yesterday was complaining that they have banned any sporting event with soccer, with any kind of ball during break time or recess or even lunchtime. It's only for PE, for gym class. And I said, why? And he said there were too many civic complaints. The 민사, the neighbors, 민원이 들어왔대요.
Because the balls were flying out of the schools?
Or
basically,
if
they were
they're
just too
kicking
loud.
balls off the they're not future 손흥민. They're not kicking. 그럼 뭐해요 쉬는 시간에?
That's what he was almost in tears.
This is so sad. And this is what exactly we're going to talk about. So to give you briefly my experience, my child is first grade, and fourth. We're very the age where we get really excited about something like sports day. Our school banned all the parents from coming to sports day, and so we had some parents in group chat who were walking by the school during the time of the sports day and were taking photos and posting it up for us. These videos were zoomed in from so far away. Zoom in. I was like, I think that's my child in blue.
I think.
This was so sad. And this is the way we get to enjoy sports nowadays. Sports day nowadays. Right. Not even enjoy, just kind of spy on them from far away. That is the reality that we're facing. So that is what's happening these days in Korea. But back in those days, for those of our listeners who don't know how big of a event sports day was, in my days, kids would practice relay races, which
Yeah.
was
Oh, yeah.
a big thing for weeks. Parents also came in with lunch boxes. During the day of the sports day, everybody screamed. It was like a 마을 잔치, right?
It
Almost.
definitely was. And then I loved it because it was a community. Parents came, aunts came, anybody and everybody who lived in the neighborhood came. And then we had performances.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
꼭두각시, if you're in the first grade, you had to do 꼭두각시.
Right.
And the sixth grade, like, 언니들 always did 부채춤. And
I
was
remember.
so
And then the
as a-
makeup.
yeah, because like you could wear makeup and they had the feathery
The
fans.
pink
and I was,
fans.
and I was like,
Those
I
so
can't
pretty.
wait to do that. And then my family immigrated. So I was real sad about that.
I know that's the only biggest memory that I have in elementary school. My favorite was the 박 터트리기. Basically, it's like a piñata, but it's like a big ball hanging on the top.
group
And we're
piñata.
all throwing small sandbags and these candies fall out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I experienced it as
Beautiful
a parent
memories.
because I didn't go to
Oh,
school here
right.
in
oh,
Korea.
really?
But it was really fun. I mean, I participated.
Uh-huh.
I ate the gravel because I fell during the relay race.
Oh, no.
Oh, you did.
But it created such good memories for
Yeah.
not just the entire school, but obviously for my kids. 'Cause they were embarrassed but happy that mom was trying so hard.
Right.
Because I was just like, why am I not going as fast as I think I'm moving? So I was like,
You
booking
get
it.
super competitive when your
Right.
child is watching. You're like, I'm gonna show them mom can do this.
Of course, and then
Watch
you know
mom.
the parents' tug of war.
Yeah.
It's like 그게
I'm
무엇이라고.
so jealous you got to do that.
There's strategy involved. Like they will
Yeah.
put you by like weight or like muscle mass or like 저 뒤로 가시고 앞으로 오시고. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right.
Back in those good days.
Yes. So,
so
these days, right?
Right. So the reality is many schools are scaling these events back. They're holding so-called mini sports days, and they're not doing everything all at once for each grade, for all grade levels, which is how it used to be. So one day, Mondays for just first graders, like Tuesdays for second graders. So why are we seeing this phenomenon happen? One, similar to the reason that Catherine, you talked about
Yes.
with other people, the neighbors complaining about the noise. So a lot of the neighbors are, they were calling police saying that there's too much noise.
That's not how
coming.
you
So
utilize.
listen to this. So last year alone, there were around 350 police reports related to school sports day noise. And this number is about 5 times more than back in 2018.
Wow.
So even though these events are becoming smaller, the police reports are, quadrupling. They're getting even larger.
I have a 질문. I have a question. Okay, so assuming that the school was already built and the apartments were, built around the schools or vice versa, but nonetheless, when you move into an apartment that is adjacent, right next to an elementary school,
What do you
might
expect?
you not expect there might be some noise
And I'm
during the
going
day?
to build off on that. Number one,
Yes.
broad daylight. This isn't
After,
the,
like, 6
the
p.m. or
rave concert midnight.
Exactly.
Also, I know for a fact that people specifically look for 초품화. 초등학교를 품은 아파트, like because it has real estate value.
Exactly.
So you want the elementary school to be
Oh,
there
that's a
to
good call.
boost your
Real estate,
housing
right?
value,
Yeah.
but then you want it to be a
Quiet.
zombie elementary school. Like what do you
Like a ghost town?
I get so mad. Like it's the hypocrisy that gets me mad. I'm
Right.
like, get it
Yes.
pick a team and stick to
Exactly.
it.
Right.
Yes, and there was this one viral video where elementary school students were shown in the footage apologizing in the school, like 죄송합니다 for being noisy. Sorry for being noisy. Please let us just play for today. And I think this video really affected a lot of people emotionally because sports day is not supposed to be something so controlled and something quiet, right? We all unleash everything that day. Kids scream and.
I have another issue. The whole 요즘에 nobody wins. There's no winner. Everybody's a winner.
Participation trophies.
It's like a tie. What is that?
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like winning and losing especially, it builds character and it makes you, push you towards competitiveness. But then, like, what are with the ties?
Exactly.
Why does everything have to end so rosy? And, like, I don't know.
I think this is a big pattern we're seeing. There's no winning or losing. Also with student election, did you guys know? Some schools in Seoul area, they're banning all student elections.
What?
There's no 반장 because if some students do not get to be 반장, that's another loss for their children. So my sister-in-law schools, her kid, there's no 반장, 부반장. There's just one 회장.
My face. I've got to.
Yeah,
and
I was
sorry. I was like, oh my god.
I was like, why? And she's like, because parents don't want their kids to feel like they lost the sense of losing. And it's just so shocking. Like, everyone has to be a tie. Everyone has to win. We're all equal.
What are you raising?
Suffocating.
Who are you raising?
We have a comment.
Yes.
Layla, 제가 일하는 학교에서도 최근에 운동에 비슷한 걸 했는데 이름도 스포츠 페스티벌이라고 그냥 반별로 팀이 되어서 체육 수업하는 그런 느낌이었대요. Like it's basically
they don't even want to use
class.
that. They don't want to use the name 운동회 anymore. It's just
going back to the whole student council thing. Like, I ran for student body president in middle school, lost, definitely came home and cried. Little tears because,
Right.
But again, it builds character though. I think it was more memorable losing and just to know. But then I was like, I've had that experience of speaking in front of a massive school.
Right.
And you learn that, you turn that into a learning experience.
Exactly.
And I think overprotective parents are... Because I feel like the school wouldn't have canceled elections if it was just a kid saying, oh, teacher, why didn't I win? But I'm sure there were phone calls and emails made.
And teachers don't want to have to handle all of that.
Ugh.
Why give grades in class then?
Yeah.
Just give everybody an A.
Exactly.
I mean, really, if there are no winners and
Pass,
losers.
fail. Yeah.
It is suffocating. And to talk about, how I briefly talked about, how the teachers are the ones who have to take care of all these, complaints. Another big reason why schools are choosing to not host these major sports day events anymore is because there is this system at schools where most of the blame for whatever goes wrong in these kind of school events are put on the teachers themselves.
That's true.
They have to take care of it. So basically, when a child gets hurt during an event, or when teachers have to face legal concerns or insurance issues of whatever is happening with the students in their class, it's the teachers that get the headache.
And I feel so bad. So little sidebar. I was on the subway yesterday, and I think it was like a 현장학습. One class was on a field trip, so it was like 5th or 6th graders, and their teacher, she happened to be sitting next to me. I thought she 360도로 눈 달린 줄.
The
teacher. She was very experienced, but she was like, I see all. And then she would be like, 누구누구야 선생님 앞으로 와. Because he was kind of acting out. It's like, you get a timeout in front of me.
Okay,
and then because I feel like the underlying thing is that she didn't want any accidents to happen, but also didn't want any civil complaints. So the teacher was very on edge. And I was texting my friends. I'm like, 근데 저게 사랑이야. 저게 사랑이고 열정이고. I'm like, teachers just choose not to do that. But for that teacher to go on that trip voluntarily, because I doubt they get paid a lot extra. So I'm like, don't discourage those very passionate, amazing teachers who choose to add on that extra headache.
Right. So it's not just the sensitive parents, as we've talked about. It's not just about the mean one. I mean, just teachers are becoming afraid of all that risk they have to take on, right?
Exactly. So if a children gets hurt or someone feels excluded, or if the event is noisy, and if some students complaining of the weather being too hot. Every situation is a complaint that is brought to the teacher.
Yes.
And sometimes the teachers they think, okay, if it's going to be this much of a big deal, let's just not hold it at all. And let's ban the parents from coming because they're going to talk about what game was unfair for their children and so forth. Yes. So looking at this issue, it's interesting to see that this debate actually exists overseas as well.
Really?
So
yes.
Tell us.
So in the U.S., there's been a long-running discussion about what's called a participation trophy.
Oh, dear.
Where every child receives an award, award. Well, I can't pronounce this.
Award.
Award, yes. Whether they win or lose. The idea was to protect children's self-esteem. But what are the psychologists? What are the experts saying?
Yeah, what are they saying?
Yeah, they're saying that children need these experiences of disappointment and recovery because real confidence doesn't always come from winning all the time, right? It comes from realizing I lost, but I can try again. 요즘 그 회복 탄력성이라는 this resilience. This is like a really key word, some ability that's very important that we're seeing less and less of in children because of something like participation trophy and where systems where everyone has to be, treated the same, no
equally,
winners,
no
winners
what.
or no losers. Right. Yes, so psychologists say, competition is very important in teaching students emotional resilience.
Yes.
Yes, they get stressed, they get nervous, they get frustrated.
Yes.
But these feelings are important because you need to learn how to control them at the end, right?
Yes.
And so if we're living in this world where everything's fair and I'm never going to be a loser, how am I going to deal with my frustrating or nervous feelings when I become an adult?
Mm-hmm. And but what about for the kids that are so-called winners?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then
exactly.
What about them?
Mm-hmm.
They get the same
They try
participation.
so hard. Exactly.
And I think it's important to teach children that the starting line has to be equal everywhere.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the finish line is going to be different for everybody. And that process is the learning curve.
All
Yes.
right. Well, we're going to leave that topic there. I'm sure we could go on for 2 more hours, but we don't have that much time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move on to our next topic, which is also Leon, right?
It is.
Yes.
So this is a very similar topic, but in a different way. We've talked about school events at elementary school level, but let's talk about university festivals.
The 축제s.
So 대학 축제,
right now.
Because do you guys feel like they're scaling down or scaling up these days?
I have firsthand information.
Yes.
I won't say which school.
Tell me.
So yesterday, the lineup, the first day of the 축제, it goes from Tuesday, yesterday, to Friday.
Okay.
And I said, that's where your tuition money's going, but okay. Okay, but 그게
Wow,
거기로
4-day
가구나.
You mean your tuition money?
Yeah. So day one, the lineup was Islet, and then also
like
Le
top
Seraphim.
What?
And Cortez도 왔대요. And that's just
my.
3 of the
제가
many.
거기 취재를 가겠습니다.
Oh, really?
I was
I want
like,
you want to.
to my girls, I was like, why didn't you call me up? My mom over for a visit.
Yeah.
That's just yesterday.
Wow.
And then it goes on and on, as you know, in Korea.
Wow.
Because I didn't get to live, in Korea through my school days, so I'm living vicariously through them.
Exactly. And now I guess it's the time to be a student at university because these gigantic celebrities are coming to your schools.
Yes.
So Catherine's case, but also at Korea University, they're really scaling up in terms of university festivals.
Yes.
And there was this one incident where they were cutting down more than 10 large trees. Right. So these campuses are very old, right? They're Korea University. So when we're talking about trees, we're not just talking about some small tree. We're talking about gigantic, historical,
They cut down big trees.
large trees.
Yes.
And for what? To make room for these festivals and booths and stages and so forth.
Yeah.
So some pundits and some viewers are saying maybe these concerts are going a little out of hand and a little extreme. And one reason is because universities are competing harder and harder every year to book top celebrities and idol groups. So one university reportedly spent more than 200 million won just on celebrity booking arrangements. So that's... Yes, your tuition money is going in there.
Yes.
And I have a quick question.
Yes.
Then how, can everybody go if you're a student? Do you have to line up? Is it an open run?
It's technically for the students, but there's all these black market going on.
You gotta sign up.
Right. And someone's forging school IDs or someone's memorizing the school anthem. And so just to...
They test you?
They don't test you, but they don't want to stand out as a stranger, have to pretend or they buy the school's clothes, acting like the students.
Oh my gosh.
They're going all out because these are full-on concerts.
All right, so
for now,
we gotta move on.
So in a nutshell, these campuses are going all out for multiple reasons, for marketing purposes. But again, this is causing some people around the school campuses to frown because it's getting too much. So I guess we can tie it up like this. The important question to throw out there is all these school events is for the community experience, but I feel like it's becoming not about the students themselves, but it's for the universities who want to make more money, who want to gather more freshmen, or for schools, elementary schools, it's for the teachers who don't want to think about complaints or the neighboring apartments.
True.
So just saying, it should be focused on the students, and we need to build a sense of community in a healthy way.
I mean, they are schools, right?
Right.
Universities too. They are schools, so technically it should be about the students.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for bringing these interesting topics from elementary school all the way to university, Leon. And now we're going to move to Haley. What do you have for us?
Actually, mine's kind of in the similar vein. It's about fairness, but now in theme parks. All of a sudden, theme parks are a ground for learning a lesson about fairness.
Sure.
So we asked you about theme parks, also waiting in line. And here's my topic.
Okay.
Fast passes or skip the line passes at these amusement parks.
Well, do they work? I've only paid for back in the States back in the day when they first came out.
Right.
At they don't have it here in Korea. Six Flags, Mag Mountain, and near LA. But I mean, do they work? Did they really take you to the front of the line?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there are different levels. So
Okay.
there's this online community post that kind of triggered this discussion. This was at the L World, in the Noguri World in Seoul. The family was in line for about an hour only to see the Magic Pass holders zoom past them.
Oh.
They've been in place for a while. For the premium, it's 8만 원 just for the pass.
Just for
this
the
is
pass.
on top of the regular tickets, which are about over 60,000 won. So,
Okay.
I mean, you do the math for a family of 4.
Oh my gosh.
It lets you skip 5 lines. So, would you pay that? Would you pay 8만 원 on top of like 6만 몇천 원?
Doing the
So
math.
that's then 14, 이거
다섯
얼마고?
명이면 40만 원 just for the pass? And that's not the ticket
That's not the
entrance price.
ticket. And then the Mouse World in LA and Florida, they also have passes ranging from $30 to $400, depending on how many lines you can skip.
Flex.
So
Magic
this
Pack
person
Wait.
said,
Unless you're going to carry me, like on piggyback.
Yeah.
For $400?
I want Gaston to give me like a princess,
This is like first class.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's like, do you see this $400 ticket? It's
Yeah.
like shining gold. Treat me
let me through.
like a queen.
Yes. So this person who wrote the right article said, or the post said, I paid a fortune for the regular tickets,
Yes.
but I felt the sense of like relative deprivation and that it was unfair.
Is it unfair though? I don't know.
But then,
I don't know.
is it capitalism?
Right, like because if you're paying $400 per person just for the fast pass, or the Magic Pass, or whatever they call it.
It is a consumer's free will. It's a free market to pay more for premium services. Priority boarding at an airport, first class on the
Exactly.
KTX, on an airplane.
Everywhere there's class.
I think, speaking of capitalism,
Yes.
this is like late stage capitalism. We are kind of exhausted by all the extra fees. Like airlines, you're really gonna charge me extra to choose my seat like 2 days earlier, like for reals. Is this happening? And the comments on the Mouse World Fast Passes said, people go into debt to bring their kids to this particular amusement park, and then they're taking advantage of this to force the customers to pay these exorbitant prices, because if every ride has an hour or two of wait time is money. Bringing your kids back for a second day, third day, that's double, triple the numbers. So then, yes, it is this concept called price discrimination, 가격 차별. But then, then is it really fair? Is it too much capitalism?
But I feel like everyone has a different story when they're coming to an amusement park. You know what I
Right.
mean? So for us, we live in Busan. Going all the way up to L World is a big trip, and we have to
Yeah.
pay for the
Just getting there.
getting there and staying there overnight if you want to
Exactly.
extend our day. And so would I pay that much? I think so, because how many would I go there for in a year?
You'd have to.
Yeah, just maybe once a year is probably max for me.
Exactly. Yes.
So then I want to make it worthwhile. I'm not going to be going up to Seoul and be waiting in lines. That's like, but that's an investment that I'm willing to make. But for someone who's living like right near L World, and know, it's a different story.
And here's another facet, because speaking of L World, the Mouse World, it's a theme park.
Yes.
You are there with your children. And then add to that, so your kids who are innocent, and they are sometimes very astute with the questions they ask you. So put yourself into this situation. So you are in line, you've been in line for an hour, you see the family zoom past you, and the kid says, Mom, why are they cutting in line? 왜 저 사람들 새치기해? 또 답을 해주시라 이거예요. 빨리. 왜 새치기해? 뭐야?
I think for me, I just say the facts. I just lay the facts out there, and I don't try too much to really look into my daughter's minds and take care of it. I just say, 그냥 그런 거야. They paid for more money than us.
우리는
they
왜
get
안
to
해?
go for- Oh, because this is already too expensive. It's expensive, and mommy doesn't want to spend that much money.
That's our budget.
We can eat out another day with that much money. Like,
Exactly.
go eat something you love.
Right.
Another day.
You win the mom trophy, and it's not a participation trophy. Right. Because there were some, I think, relative deprivation. There were some comments on that thread about 엄마가 가난해서 미안해. 아빠가 돈을 못 벌어서 미안해. I'm like, I'm sorry, mommy or daddy didn't make that much money. I'm sorry we're poor. And
I'm proud that
you.
I'm proud I can take you to an amusement park.
Like, guys, we paid the tickets to get here. None of us are like, I mean, you could have saved a lot of. All right, so I'm going to credit this blogger, Eigen Not. So this blogger said, you can explain, there are 3 ways to approach this. Number 1, you can explain the rules. Hey, this is a rule that this theme park has.
Yes.
And explain the thought behind the action. Those people, that family, probably wanted to save time by spending more money. And then when the kid's like, well, why didn't you do that? You explain the choice, because we have, we only have so much resources.
That's our budget.
And I think either waiting in line is a part of the experience. We get to spend time together, or I want to spend that money for a nice meal. So you explain, again, the rules, the thought, or the choice, but don't dump your emotions onto the kid, because the child approached this with a simple curiosity.
Right.
The adults are adding extra weight to it by relaying that unfairness.
Right.
So there's, of course, a larger economic backdrop to consider. Everybody's not feeling so rich these days. So I think that's why we are extra sensitive. But of course, this leaves us with questions. Is this the way that the free market works? Should we kind of cut that for a theme park? But as far as parenting is concerned, as a non-parent, it is an unfair world.
It is.
That's just the facts of life. But how you lead your children through this, and by extension ourselves, to view this and operate within the system is up to us. And it's kind of the thing with those relays of nobody wins. Again, I want to teach children that we all start in an equal. We want to create a world where everybody starts equally. But the process after that depends on what you did in that process, and the finish line could be different, and lines could be time spent together. It could be a teaching experience, and I don't want us to rob our children of those experiences.
And I want to go back to Leon's story with the beginning and the ending. They're all connected, in my opinion, because if we have these sports days or events or just across the board in school where nobody wins, everybody, you're all winners, you all get a participation trophy. And then we have these real life, events or activities outside of school where
nobody wins.
Nobody wins.
Right.
But the thing is this. I mean, some people, they're going to be on that first, in first class in an airplane. They're going to move to the front of the line. That's life. I'm sorry. Am I a big Temuja T? Maybe. But I think we need to teach them gently gently that life
That's
is
what school's
unfair.
for. You
sometimes.
you learn through a mini world at school to what you're supposed to learn after when you become an adult.
And I think, do I have 30 seconds? You explain to the children. Those people chose first class or the magic passes because they wanted to prioritize that.
Yes.
We're going to spend that money for a nice meal together. Also for sports day, your friend so-and-so won the gold medal in the relay. You, unfortunately, we are not an athletic bunch. Sorry, family saw. But you excel in other things. You teach that lesson.
Yes, indeed. Well, another lively session. Thank you, ladies, for waggling so well. And, of course, our listeners enjoying it as well. We will, of course, have you on next week. So thank you.
All gold medals.
Yay!
Yay.
No.
Oh.
Okay. All right, we're going to call it a wrap for today. Thank you to, of course, you, the listeners out there, but of course, our producer as well, Ji, writers Haley, Sue. I'm your host, Catherine, to, of course, Haley and Leon for this corner as well. Final song is Magic Carpet Ride by Taudim. So enjoy. Bye, everybody.